All right, folks, thank you for joining us this evening. This is a regularly scheduled, called and convened Greer City Council meeting, October the 14th, 2025. Having called the meeting to order, I'd like to ask Councilman Lee Demis, if you would, to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance and then an invocation for council.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Pray with us, if you will. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for this great city. This is your city. Thank you so much for this council that you've assembled here tonight. Thank you so much for the staff that serves the city and all those that live within it. We ask that you pour out our blessings on us tonight and that your will be done in this meeting. In Christ's name, amen.
Amen. Council, we have two people to speak in public forum this evening. As we do from time to time, we allow time for public forum. Since we've only got two this evening, I would only ask that you be mindful of the time that you need to speak, and that you would come to the podium when it's your turn, and that you would give your name and address as a matter of the record. Kathleen DeVaugh is our first speaker, and the podium is yours.
Good evening, council members. My name is Kathleen DeVix. My residence is at 134 Park Avenue. And I want to speak just briefly on the road issue and the resolution that's going to be presented later on this evening. First, let me say that I had an opportunity to speak with Mike McCarthy from TMG prior to this meeting this evening, and we had a very good conversation. He clarified the demarcated portion of Park Avenue that's being discussed in relation to the sewer water tap with CPW. I'm familiar with the presentation on September 9th. And while I can understand the water and sewer tap issue, and I know it's okay with the utility company, and if it's also okay with city ordinances and engineering, that's fine to have one water tap rather than two. What I don't fully understand is why privatization would be necessary in conjunction with allowing the development to have just one tap and only pay one fee. So to me, the privatization is a legal issue. I haven't seen anything in the record yet, but I'll be watching to see if it's legally required. Mike did mention that maybe there was something about you can't have a private utility under a public road. I don't know what the basis for that is in engineering or ordinances or under the law. There was also, we had discussion about the city wanting to see the private road demarcated in some way. Some mention was made of a gate. I can tell you that residents of the Park Avenue townhomes were used to being able to drive up to Moore Street to then access Trade or Line Street. And they would be unhappy about a gate, and a gate could also cause problems for that end unit closest to a gate trying to back out and would no longer be able to back the other easier way to go up to Moore, but be forced to back out towards the gate. And we discussed some possible solutions in that regard. And that's really all I'm going to say tonight. I know that if you approve the resolution tonight to refer everything back to the city attorney, then there'll be notice given to the residents of the Park Avenue townhomes, the only people actually abutting the project. We've worked well with the project superintendent and cooperatively, and I'm really glad that I had an opportunity to meet with Mike tonight. But we're going to be watching, and we're going to make arguments at the public hearing to make sure that the city is fully taking into consideration this very important part of downtown. We were some of the first investors in downtown to improve that area, and we know that the development is going to help it improve it further. And I just thank you for your time, and I look forward to seeing you when we come to the public hearing.
Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate your comments. Our next speaker is Sherry Casano. Casano? Okay, floor is yours, ma'am. If you'll help me with your name when you come to the podium and give us an address, I would appreciate it. Thank you.
My name is Sherry Casano. I live on 100 Cascade Drive. And my complaint, I think there's an easy resolution to take care of the posts on Trade Street. I have had a lot of company. We bring everybody down there. They wreck their car doors. They back into those little posts. And I think it would be much easier to make them higher and visible than having to repair them or people hurting their cars. So I hopefully think it's resolved at some time.
All righty, thank you. We'll look into that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Council, contained in your packet this evening is the minutes from September the 23rd, 2025. I'll entertain a motion that they be received.
So moved.
And a second. Any items of note for the clerk? Hearing none. Ms. Duncan?
Mr. Arrowood,
Yes.
Mr. Booker,
Yes.
Mr. Hopper,
Yes.
Mr. Dumas.
Yes.
Mr. Bettis,
Yes.
Miss Albert. Yes. Mayor Danner.
Yes. Council, next up is our administrator's report. Mr. Merriman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Council. Just a couple things I wanted to let you know about what's going on here in town. The City of Greer is up for the Kidding Around Greenville SC Kaboom Awards. The voting runs through October 20th. You can show your support for Century Park as best outdoor playground under family attractions, and for Greer Parks and Rec as best sports program under family programs by voting as much as once a day. And Kidding Around will announce its winners in January, so cast your votes at kiddingaroundgreenville.com. So vote early, vote often, to move our Parks and Rec programs to the top of the list. The Artisan Market is this Saturday. Artisan Makers Market will be Saturday, October 18th from 10 a.m. to 2 here at Greer City Park. Handmade goods, local food, and live music. It is that time of year again for Cops for Tots. Our police department is collecting donations for Cops for Tots to make sure Christmas is a special time for all of our children here in Greer. So if you'd like to help Cops for Tots, please see the link on the City of Greer website homepage for more information. There will be a field dedication ceremony in honor of Lonnie Gee McGee on Monday, the 20th of this month at 5:45 here at City Stadium. Gates are going to open at 5 and parking will be limited. And the 8U Greer Junior Jackets game will follow immediately after the ceremony. Come out Friday, October 24th from 4:30 to 8 to enjoy live music, local vendors for the Greer Alive and Greer Farmers Market. And that is here in City Park. And then again, we're going to host another trunk or treat on Trade Sunday the 26th from 5 to 7:30. So come and enjoy a good family evening on the 26th. Mr. Mayor, Council, that concludes my report.
Thank you, sir. Administrator is available if you need additional information on any of the items that were covered this evening. Next item before us this evening is appointments to boards and commissions. We have a request from the Housing Authority of the City of Greer Board of Commissioners, or a notification, actually. Perry Dennis's term will expire 10/31/2025. Did this come with any additional information or recommendation from the Housing Authority?
No, sir.
Okay, with that then, I'll just ask that we'll hold this over and I will talk to the folks over at the Housing Authority. Mr. Dennis has served faithfully on that board for a number of years, has served both as the chair and co-chair, and I will find out if he's interested in remaining in that seat, if that suits council at this point in time. We'll just hold that over then at this point. We have no old business before us this evening, so we'll turn our attention to new business, the first of which is an award recommendation. This is Project 2020 26-002, banking services. Action will be required. The City of Greer Finance Department solicited sealed proposals from qualified offerers of banking services. The proposals were opened and held on August 21st, 2025 at 11 a.m. A total of 3 proposals were received and evaluated. Those are attached in your notes, Council. So with the staff request from council to proceed this evening, is there any additional information that is coming from staff on this or not? Mr. Merriman? Okay. This comes before us at this point in time. For the purpose of discussion, I'll entertain a motion to receive.
Mr. Mayor, I'd actually like to make a motion to postpone the current banking RFP process in order to allow council ample time to review the city's current financial policies, as well as make any necessary amendments before re-advertising no later than fourth quarter of 2026.
This comes as a motion to, remind me, Mr. Hopper?
Going to postpone it.
Postpone the RFP process to allow us more time to review financial policies. make
Okay.
Any updates accordingly.
Does that,
According to
does that
Robert's-
fit either table or hold over? I mean,
It
is it-
postponed is actually, it would be its own category under Robert's rules, and it just doesn't provide an end date that
Okay.
allows the council to consider it at their pleasure at a later date.
Okay.
So-
For the purpose of discussion, then, we have a motion to postpone.
And second.
Okay, now the floor is open for discussion.
I think it's a good idea that we do postpone it so we can talk about our financial policies and make sure things are updated, make sure things, if we want to add something or delete something, we can, and this goes right along with it. So I think it's be a wise decision to hold it over.
Is there a policy right now, Mr. Merriman, that gives us a timeline as far as when we solicit banking relationships? Is it,
At this time, it's not, we don't have a formal policy that puts a clock on that, so no, sir. Could be one of the things that this council considers.
Others? Let's see, action required. Ms. Duncan?
Mr. Arrowood,
Yes.
Mr. Booker,
Yes.
Mr. Hopper,
Yes.
Mr. Dumas.
yes.
Mr. Bettis.
Yes.
Ms. Albert,
yes,
Mayor Danner.
Yes. Council, our second item of business this evening is the first and final reading of Resolution Number 19-2025. This is a resolution in consideration of a request for closure of a portion of a public road in the city of Greer and to refer the road closure to the city attorney pursuant to city ordinance. Mr. Merriman, you'll lead that discussion, please.
Yes, sir. Mr. Mayor, if you'll recall, a request was made on, from TMG, the developers of the James here on Moore. They are requesting a closure of a portion of Park Avenue. This is, from a procedural standpoint, the resolution effectively kicks off the process of public notice and council's ordinance process. A positive approval of this ordinance or this resolution tonight does not close the portion of Park, but what it does is notify the city attorney's office to begin the process of public notice, et cetera. So you'll, just like any other ordinance, y'all would have still 2 readings of an ordinance. This begins the process.
I know there was a number of questions that was raised by Mr. DeVix in the process of what we're doing tonight. Will this help us in terms of additional information that she and other residents may be pursuant of?
An affirmative vote of this resolution, yes, sir, that will begin that process. If you deny the resolution tonight, the matter's dead.
Okay. Mr. McCarthy, I know you were in attendance tonight. Anything that you'd like to add at this point in time?
Good evening, Council. Just that I appreciate the conversation with Ms. DeVix, and our intent here is to continue to be a good neighbor and deliver a project to enhance the connectivity of the neighborhood and pedestrian access to downtown, and look forward to continuing our discussion to alleviate her concerns and of the rest of our neighbors, and just make myself available to any questions that council should have.
Thank you. For the purpose of further discussion, I'll entertain a motion to receive. Thank you, sir.
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
Mr. DeMix, this is not something that we do on a regular basis, so there is information that all of us will be glad to get. And as we proceed with this, as you heard tonight, this is the first step of this, and an affirmative action will put into place a set procedure for the closure of a public road. In the course of that discussion in the public hearing, I think many of your questions will be answered. I know that this council had a preliminary discussion with staff that I believe Mr. Sell led, and Mr. Merriman as well too. There are a number of moving parts in this action, and I think we can bring more light to it if we affirm this step tonight. Other discussion?
Like you said, Mayor, we've had preliminary information, but I think the reason was given is that they were ready to make the second water tap, and Greer CPW had, I've heard the figure doubled the tap fees, or not the tap fees, the impact fees that go along with it. Is that the reason we've been given, just to confirm that?
I do believe that the developer had run into some challenges with CPW on accessibility to water, which would have required a second tap
Okay.
at a higher rate
Okay.
than had been previously assumed.
Now, is it CPW's, do they operate like that? Do they just not tell anybody when they're going to increase fees?
Mr. Airwood, I am unfamiliar with the way CPW notifies developers or those that might be impacted by a rate change. I'm assuming there's a process. I'm just unaware of it.
Mayor, can you recall the developer, have him come back to the podium? I got some questions for him.
Mr. McCarthy, if you would like to answer questions, you can. You are free to, if you'd like.
Yes.
What I just said, was that the case? Were y'all not aware of the?
That's correct. There was an email that went out in October of 2024, which was a couple weeks after we broke ground and paid to them fees for the electrical infrastructure. And that email was sent to a subset of developers with ongoing projects within the city and not to us.
How about your engineers? Did they receive one?
I would have to check with our engineers.
Yeah, we probably need to check that. I understand that these impact fees, especially for what you're doing, are high. But and I don't even know the total amount of your projects, but I would assume a couple of things. And one is that with your tap fees, many times they're just paid up front.
Mm-hmm.
Now, y'all were aware you want to have two taps, is that correct?
Correct, and we asked when we should pay them, and they said at the time of tap.
Okay. So now you can't get water unless you pay that second fee. So what happens to the project if you can't? I mean, how much extra additional are we talking about out of, out of your company's pocket? Is
Just under 600,000
that's in addition to what was already going to be paid, or is that,
under the old fees, the delta between the old and the new.
so you're adding the old and the new?
It was previously around $200,000 for the two taps, and now it's around $800,000 for the two taps.
But you already paid for one tap?
Correct.
Okay, so that one was on budget.
We could not, we had to get water to the,
Sure,
to
but
the
that
site
one was
to
on
continue
budget, right?
construction.
That line item was fine.
it was about 200,000 more than the two taps were previously. We were over budget by about 200,000 just by paying the one tap.
And I don't, not trying to be ugly, but whose fault was that? I mean, you went in there with a budget, and to get to get a dollar amount to put in that line item, I would assume the simple thing would have been pick up the telephone and call CPW.
We did.
Okay, so you made that call, it got put in there, and you started the project, but you had to make a tap immediately, is that correct?
We started the project in September of '24 and made the tap in March of '25.
Okay, and so when did the first tap, you're off on that as well? I mean, you're off budget on that?
Correct.
Okay, and so now you're it's $600,000 deficit as far as that one line item. Is that correct?
Correct.
Generally, developers or contractors have contingencies built in. Do you not have a contingency built in for that?
Not for that specific purpose.
Okay, not for that purpose, but how about the overall job?
Yes, typically we have a contingency.
And do you have contingency to cover that?
We do not.
So how does the project end out if are you going to be 600,000 in the negative when you look at the bottom line?
To an increase in budget, yes.
The bottom line of the project?
Yes.
Now, y'all are going to be the owners of all of this, correct? You're not selling it?
Correct.
And your proposal is that there's only going to be one way in to Park Street. It would shut off, what's the other streets down there that come off of?
Moore and Daniel.
Do what?
Daniel is the back one and Moore is the front one. It connects Moore and Daniel. Dan, excuse me.
Dan?
Supposed to be more formal.
Yeah, that's all.
Others? Questions?
Andy, I got one question for
Yes, sir.
you. In a situation like this where, I mean, from a city perspective, what can we do in the future? Because I don't think it's right, if the information you're given is correct, go from 200,000 to 900,000 in a matter of a few months. If they're increasing their capacity fees like that, that seems not comparable to what should be happening. Is there any conversations we can have, especially using this as a case study moving forward?
I think there's probably lessons to be learned here for a number of entities. I would say in this particular case, Mr. Booker, you know, from a permitting and processing standpoint, I do not see where the city erred. So I'm going to stipulate that, and I could be wrong, but from soup to nuts, I have not seen an error on our part that would have caused any financial hardship in this particular case. Again, it boils down to how does the utility provider any utility provider, in this particular case CPW, how do they notify both customers and potential customers of upcoming rate changes and when those changes will be effective and when we'll have a submitted project. If it had been previously submitted, when would it have been grandfathered in? So I don't have an answer for you, Mr. Booker. I just know that it's a challenge.
I think this is the point that I want to interject, that this item before us this evening is a resolution in consideration of the request of the closure of the road for a portion of public road in the city. And while our inquiries are legitimate, I don't know that they're appropriate in terms of the passage of this particular piece of legislation. So I'd like to see us move forward if we could. Others? Discussion.
Let me just respond to that. I think the questions are appropriate because when we were briefed on this last time, it was, we got a 8.5 by 11 piece of paper with the drawing on it, and you could barely see it. And there was a lot of questions that were not answered. And I don't know. I think all the questions are appropriate, even just to have the process to move forward.
And I will say this then, if this is denied, it doesn't go forward regardless, so
Right.
there's no more information to gather.
No, I understand that.
Okay. All right. Questions? Comments? Discussion? Ms. Duncan?
Mr. Airwood,
No.
Mr. Booker,
Yes.
Mr. Hopper,
Yes.
Mr. Dumas,
Yes.
Mr. Bettis,
Yes.
Miss Albert,
Yes.
Mayor Danner.
Yes. Council, we have no items in executive session this evening. We stand adjourned.